Okay, so I'm going to talk about test anxiety. What is test anxiety? Why do we experience test anxiety? And how can we avoid it or deal with it if we do experience test anxiety? First of all, test anxiety is an anxiety related to testing. Anxiety is bad feelings. So test anxiety is when you don't feel good about a test, either before you take it or while you're taking it. That can either be sick to your stomach, or it can be your mind just going totally blank. You know the answer, you just can't think of it, or various other symptoms like that. Why does that happen? For a lot of people, it happens from bad test experiences in the past. They've gone into testing situations and done poorly, and now they're worried that they're going to do poorly again. For a lot of students, it happens because they didn't prepare very well and they don't know the material. For a lot of students, it happens because they have placed too much emphasis on their performance on this test. They have unrealistic expectations. As soon as they think, oh, I don't know the answer to this question, they freak out and can't think of anything else either. How do you deal with test anxiety? What's the best way to avoid test anxiety or to respond to test anxiety when you experience it? The best thing to do is to be prepared. Being prepared means, one, having studied effectively, knowing the material before you go into the test, having a good idea of what the test is going to be like. Students who are surprised when they see a test are students who are more likely to be nervous or anxious. Pop quizzes are scary. Tests that you already expect and that you already know what's going to be on those tests and you already know what kind of test it's going to be, less scary for most people. So if you're prepared for the test, you're less likely to be anxious. If you're prepared with the material, if you know the material well, you're less likely to be anxious. Also, if you know how to take tests, then you're more likely to be prepared for the test. So we already talked about test routines, getting a good night's sleep, going in ready on time, reading over the directions before you start the test, learning how to make wise guesses on a test, going back over the test when you're done, making sure that you answered everything. Having that system can help you feel calm and help you know, even if you're not sure of all the answers, you're a good test taker, and so you'll feel better about the test. So developing a test routine is just as important for being prepared for a test as studying the material is. Another thing that you can do is to learn various kinds of relaxation techniques. So be prepared for the test, be prepared for test taking in general, but also be prepared with ways of relaxing if you start to get anxious. One of the most important things to do is to recognize when you begin to get anxious and to intervene, to interrupt the negativity. Taking a deep breath, stretching, moving away from the test, sitting up straight, breathing deeply and letting your blood flow through your brain smoothly can help relax students. Taking a short break from the test, stopping, looking away, counting to 10, thinking about some other thing for a minute or two, then looking back at your test can often help alleviate test anxiety as well. When you don't know an answer, skip that question and move on. If you dwell on the question you don't know, if you get really worked up and anxious about that question, you're going to still be anxious when you've moved on to the next question. So if you can quickly move through and answer all the ones you know, that will help you relax and feel calm because you've had several successful efforts through the test. Then you can come back. If you really don't know the answer, guess and just move on. Don't obsess over the ones you don't know. Answer those questions and keep going. Then you'll stay calm and you'll be able to continue to do well. Lastly, once you've finished a test, think about what worked and what didn't work. What helped you reduce your level of anxiety and what didn't help you? If you changed your routine, did that make you a more effective test taker or a less effective test taker? You want to think about how your method works for you. After you've taken a test, go back and think about that test before you put it entirely out of your head. And if you noticed a little bit of improvement, if you freaked out less, if you were less nervous, if you felt less bad, that's good, that's improvement. and keep doing those things that are helping, and try to identify those things that aren't helping so you can try to change them.